some pretty cool, even during the challenger stage, we saw some really cool smokes, we saw some flashbangs, we saw some cool executes coming out. The Ents Mirage Day comes to mind, where people are posting about that as well, their sequence of smokes. So we see a lot of cool stuff. People have been hiding, people have been prepping on coming out, but a map which they have never played in the history of this particular roster coming out to play here against FaZe in a best-of-1 in a 1-1 matchup. Color me surprised, Vince, but I do believe if you know anything about his Cloud9 lineup, they will be prepared. They have something in store for us here. They will be starting on the CT side. We have an Incendiary getting purchased by Nafany early on. The rest of them, it's going to be one flash for Inters. Apart from that, it is going to be the USPs and Armor. And FaZe, a fast play towards the upper bomb side.
Rain getting straight out there, but Nafany with 2 brisk headshots. Going to be shutting this down, and it's a third as well. Rop's doing a bit of damage to Karrigan, and now Shiro is finishing off the rest. Rop's his last man standing, but for how much longer reasonably can he stand his ground? Good for 1 thus far. The only good news is that all that bloodshed happens so fast that time is simply not an issue for the young Estonian. He can take his sweet time and hope that maybe Cloud9 makes some errors, some overzealous plays, but he gets caught in the back, and Axile shuts him down. One of the easiest pistol rounds you'll see. You know that meme that people always bring up, like, oh, they're saving strats for the Major? This would be the biggest one of those cases if Cloud9 were just hidden OP on Nuke this entire time.
That is actually, yeah, and what a start as well. Nafany was not really in a comfortable position, especially with the USP, but then tapping the players away. And we're learning about how Cloud9 plays Nuke as the rounds progress. No one has any idea what's in store for us over here. I'm sure all the forums, all the Reddits, all the Twitterati, everyone's going to be so very confused. A fast play coming outside. Nice flashback, but Nafany able to clothesline drops. But the upper bomb side has been rested here. But look at them being so proactive, Vince. They're not allowing the bomb to go down.
Has finally been planted, but it's a great cost to so many lives. This, of course, being a full force. Nafany, there's such a monster in the pistol round and is continuing that pace alongside Hobbit. From above, he will strike. And although it is a bomb plant, Cloud9 with a comfortable retake.
All right, Cloud9. All right, color me intrigued. That was a forced buy coming in from FaZe. Sure, they got the bomb down, but I'm envisioning, again, just a few buys, a few pistols coming out here. Not much of a heavy investment. Of course, they will have a... Does Twist have the R8?
Yes.
Well, there's one guy who I'd believe to be able to pull off a kill with the R8. It has to be Twist. Listen, the R8 is a tilter, Vince. Playing a matchmaking game, someone just like R8s you from across the map. I do want to just type and quit my console. So that it could be a psychological weapon.
I wonder how many, any stats guys out there, any analysts out there, how many R8 kills we've had at Majors over the duration of it existing. I'm going to assume it's not many.
I'm going to assume it's going to be in the single digits.
Yeah.
Axel, though, having no trouble finding Karrigan. Now, Twist is perched atop the silo. Drop on down, but this one just... Oh, they're so close! They're so close, Twist. It tags him down. And you can see that amount of damage the revolver deals out Shiro down to 30 HP. But it will be a flawless round for the side of Cloud9. They have thus far suffered just 2 casualties in a 3 round. It's been a great start, a great debut for the team over here. For the CIS side in what is pretty much uncharted territory. For FaZe, now this is where I want to see what Karrigan has in store for us here. The buy is going to be coming in, of course. AK-47's abound, no AWP yet for Brokey. And there's going to be a ton of utility as well.
First proper test. FaZe now with their full assault rifles already pushing outside and getting up close. A small gap in the smoke, but won't be fully exploited as Shiro doesn't have that AWP. But Axile also spraying through, and not that much damage, all things considered. They had 2 players there just to batter down the bullets. And Rain escapes with 66 HP. But a bit of aggression from Nafany. Getting into the hut already, using that smoke as a bit of a shroud. Axile, in the meanwhile, spotting 2 players on the cross. Karrigan and Rain are there to try and deal with him, but Axile picking up the kill and can also retreat in turn. But FaZe feel like this is their moment to strike. And strike they shall, but that's into the embracing arms of Inters. And the A1S is going to perforate the first, but Brokey answers straight back. 3 players left standing, and you can now make that just a 1 for Rain, but he can't get anything out of this round. And Cloud9, not only have they picked up the pistol in subsequent rounds, they got the first rifle round as well.
Absolutely. Again, just losing a couple of players there. The M4 will be dropped towards his teammate, and Shiro will be purchasing the AWP early on. I love the the aggression from Axel there was so very low in health, getting the flank through Squeaky, wrapping around from HUD, preventing Brokey from getting anything more done. FaZe back to just the pistols once more, and Cloud9 thus far a solid start here on what everyone just tuning in right now, probably very confused as to why Nuke is the map being played over here, but a great entry from Rain with a Tech-9 running and gunning, finds Inters, but a quick trade from Napany, and he's going to try and shut this out by his lonesome, finds 2, but will eventually get taken down.
Downhill drop, and 2 rifles have now been picked up. FaZe able to use them against the oncoming CTs. Replenishing the smoke on main, but Karrigan spammed down through the smoke of Exile. And just like that, the bomb has been dropped down. Brokey decides to pick it up and rush down to the B side, but Rops isn't there to help him. However, he could have the drop on Exile. Hobbit needs to stand fast. Rops will drop Exile. This is now a winnable round on the side of FaZe. Not only are they in a post plant, but both of their remaining players have rifles, have Kevlar, and are healthy. And Hobbit too late with that HE. Brokey's already pieced out of there. And good post plant positions being assumed by both of the Ts. Hobbit and Shiro have their work cut out for them. They've got a bit of utility, though. Shiro with an incendiary and a couple of flashbangs, but now Rob's going to make moves. Can see the barrel of the gun around the silo, but can't finish him off. But Hobbit has gone down anyway. And now Shiro can't do much with the bomb so low to detonation. This round is going to go the way of FaZe. The pistols yielding so much in return.
Such a FaZe round to win as well. Just the pistols get the opening over there. Great call to head on straight on down. Karrigan, Robs, Brokey, and Rain chipping in with a frag apiece. Robs, in fact, finishing it off and getting a 2K over there. And Cloud9 finally, they lose the very first round here. Perhaps the very first round ever to be lost on the map of Nuke. But because of how solid the earlier rounds were, great lurk from Robs there. The moment he saw the C4 down, I think Hobbit called it out. You can see the player just running on into its secret. Rob's able to take him down. And when you have someone like Rob's alive in a clutch scenario like that, you know it is going to be favoring FaZe. 5 will still be coming in for Cloud9. Pretty solid buy overall. Shiro still with the AWP as well. M4s abound for the rest of them. And they're going to switch things up here. Holy Molotov being deployed towards the back of the bomb site. Nafny's blinded, but he doesn't have to be worried. He's got Inters on top of the HUD to ensure that no one's going to be pushing on out. So the captain will be fine for the time being. We have presence towards Secret as well. 2 players, in fact, Vince. That is interesting. Axel and Hobbit. The drop down towards Mini. The wraparound comes in, but Inters, he's good for 1.
Finally, off angle as well. This allows Inters to focus on the squeaky door. Beautifully done. Will get traded out, but the damage should have already been inflicted. And now Inters can go from strength to strength, but Karrigan is there to catch him as he falls from the top of Hut. Only 2 players remain on FaZe, but they were able to pull off a 2v3 in the previous round under very different circumstances. And with a smoke on main, Hobbit may feel compelled to push that smoke, and push he shall, potentially all the way to victory. But Karrigan stands between them and that fate. Shiro up in heaven. The angle is difficult for Karrigan to attain, and he gets caught. Exile pushing into main, gets him unawares, and Cloud9 move to a dominant 5-1 lead.
That was almost pretty perfection with Karrigan. He tosses in the Molotov, and if he had his gun out, he could have got the player trapped inside of Mini, but that was a perfect time for Shiro to peek out. So that was almost unwinnable there for Karrigan. Nice attempt, however, but that was all Inters, man. Being so very lethal on top of HUD. And Hobbit as well, finding the perfect timing to push him through the smoke. Ensuring the man advantage doesn't spiral out of control. For FaZe, they will be able to eke out a pretty solid buy, all things considered. We have Karrigan taking 1 for the team, Galil in hands, just so we can afford a smoke and a couple of flashbangs. Rops with just the AK-47. The rest of them a decent chunk of utility as well. You see the smoke's getting deployed. A deep molly for a secret, gonna allow Rain a little bit of time to work with as he does look to try and get some map control here towards outside. For the Cloud9 setup right now, they just have 2 players towards the ramp position. You have Hobbit, who's now going to be dropping towards the lower part of the bomb, towards the lower bomb site. Shiro playing towards Hell with the AWP, and Axel stuck into the corner of Garage. They're not making any sound here, so he's just making sure no one pushes in towards Mini, but Secret is open for business for FaZe. So they can creep on down to towards the lower bomb side. They can have a lot of space to work with, and that is a huge find by Robs. Inters will be plucked. Remaining members, though, debating, do they go for the ramp area? Because there is a smoke right now still keeping them at bay right outside a trophy room, but they have so much room to work with and a man advantage as well.
40 seconds, though, on the clock. So for all the advantages that they may possess, time itself could be their undoing. And I think they're starting to realize that as they push into ramp. Now, Shiro is here. Flash is good. Forces him off the angle. Axile's position already compromised in Garage. But a lot of this comes down to Shiro. How many kills, if any, can he get? Oh, and he misses his chance. He's not fully punished for it, though. 15 seconds now. Shiro's missed 2 shots. And that will cost him and surely Cloud9 dearly as Twists goes in for a second. And with 8 seconds to play with, Nafani goes in for the post-plant, but unfortunately, it's too little too late, and FaZe double up their score tally.
That looked a little hairy for FaZe. But when it comes to these crunch situations, 15 seconds on the clock, the kills goes their way. And finally, a couple of whiff shots from Shiro, and I won't lie, I was not necessarily a big fan of him coming up ramp. There was all by his lonesome, especially with the AWP. It comes down to the timing, and even if he finds a kill, there's a real possibility he gets traded. In fact, he couldn't find anything. Forced by now for Cloud9, and Roki, looking to challenge even further. He's hunting him down. Axel, very lucky to stay alive. Just an MP9, a couple of pistols, a 5.7, a CZ in the hands of Axel and Shiro respectively, and a solitary FAMAS in the hands of Hobbit. And this is something that Maui touched upon. He wants to see them being proactive. He doesn't want to see them just playing, the passive textbook Counter-Strike, so to speak. Because if you do that, that is something that FaZe will be able to abuse. And that is something that NIP did as well in the latter stages of the Inferno game yesterday. So let's see what does transpire over here. Hobbit with a bit of an off-answer. This might not be expecting this, and indeed he doesn't. Axel simultaneously finds Carrigan. The bomb is dropped at his feet, and he's even got a smoke to try and delay the T's from pushing in. Time is still the friend for FaZe. Bomb picked up, walking in through the smoke, and it's all on Raid in a 1 versus 4.
2 of them is half the tally of Cloud9 players, but keep in mind that this was pistols and a force buy. This was a golden opportunity for FaZe to get straight back into this one. And now, on a 1 HP, Rain has to somehow turn this back around in FaZe's favor. 35 seconds left, and he's on the wrong side of this smoke. Cloud9 can reposition both of their players' full hit points. Now, even if Rain can pick up the bomb, and that's no guarantee, time working against him forces him into an awkward position here, and there's Inters on the drive-by. 6-2, they win their force buy with CZ's 5.7s.
A little bit of mistake there from FaZe. Sure, you lose a couple of players. With the bomb getting dropped, they panicked a little bit, pushing in through the smoke, thinking the CD smoke actually was obscuring vision and the bomb wouldn't be seen. But instead, he walks in. I think it was Robs walking straight through into Mini and getting his head plucked clean off his shoulders. And Rain, in the end, that was, well, he does get a 2K. It was a 1v3, but it was not to be in Cloud9. Back to winning ways. For FaZe, though, they still have the money for the buy. Oh, bullets whiz past his ear. Slowly going to peel back at much more faster pace being set by FaZe over here. Not too much of a gap in the smoke as well. And because Cloud9 are allowing them a lot of control of Secret, they're going to be grouping up together. Axel, though, he's going to hold the line. He's got his teammate nearby on the vents ladder position to drop on down if needs be, but he's got to make contact.
That's one. They go in 1 by 1, and it was looking good for the double up there from Axel. Unfortunate not to get more damage done. Brokey survives on 48, just about. And Hobbit now unsure as to where these remaining Ts are. They're already pushing down on the vent side. Damage inflicted to Carrigan, and it is significant, and Rops' patience pays out in spades. A 3v frag onto Nafani, but now Inters from the top is going to strike for 1. It's back and forth, but it will be favoring FaZe, especially considering a post-plant now comes to fruition. Carrigan can just stay on his 8 HP and look to try and flank in late. Onto the heaven side, the spray's good for 1, and he's nullifying as many of these weapons as possible. Because the last round was so close in a force buy, Cloud9 have very little in terms of surplus cash.
FaZe will get the third, and It's just for Cloud9. I'm like, look, I'm sure everyone is right now gobsmacked at the fact that Nuke is being played, but this is where someone like Karrigan can thrive, right? Well, one thing we speak about Karrigan, and let's go back to IM Katowice. Let's go back to them playing with a stand-in multiple times. JK is coming in. 2 players getting COVID almost simultaneously. We had Rob sitting it out. We had Rain playing from the from his hotel room. And one thing Karrigan is fantastic on is calling on the fly, making it up as it goes, trying to adapt as it's thrown at him. And this is going to be a real test for Karrigan. Obviously, Cloud9 have done the prep work. You know, they're like, all right, this is going to be the curveball that's going to catch FaZe off guard. And for Karrigan, it's literally just fighting in the dark right now. He doesn't know what the setups are. He doesn't know what the protocols necessarily are for Cloud9 because there's no data to work with. And yet, despite that, despite the fact that Cloud9 were off to a great start initially, FaZe able to somehow find a couple of early chinks in the defense here. 6-3, still very early days here. Listen, for Cloud9, this is either mad genius or sheer madness. Like, that's the only way I can describe this. Like, how, especially in a matchup where it's so even Stevens, you're a top 3 team in the world, and in fact, they're allowing Nuke out in the best of 1 in a 1-1, like, you know, when both the teams are in a 1-1 situation, the legend stage, it is almost insanity. ForceSpy going to be coming in here for Cloud9. They still have an AK-47 in the hands of Shiro, safe from the previous round. 5.7s and a CC as well. And bear in mind, they didn't win the round just with a light buy, but the pacing from Robster, catching Axel, just running out. They're so fast, a very aggressive, fast look coming in, and they head in towards the ramp position. Shiro lies in wait, the AK will strike.
Very important kill, but Karrigan's already sneaking outside. He's getting around the back of the CTs while they're all focused down on the trophy room. This is where Karrigan can have so much impact, and Brokey has them locked in the other side. There's nowhere for them to go. The only downside is Intis maybe can get the drop, but he switches. A panic as he jumps into the air, but Karrigan decides not to go via ramp. Instead, he goes through heaven, but that's only as good as how long they can hold this bomb for. Karrigan's position now is entirely useless. The bomb was spilled in lobby, and Karrigan now has to do the long con all the way around the ramp side. And surely one of Cloud9 realized this is a distinct possibility.
It's all about the timing, Vince.
And now Karrigan may get the first player, but he can't get that mantle. Inters pivots round, takes his head clean off. But you could see what they were going for. There were so many cool little moving parts. But the second that bomb gets dropped in lobby, Karrigan's flank is entirely worthless.
But that is something that Cloud9 needed to do, right? There was obviously the avenue for Karrigan to wrap around all the way from outside towards hell and then make his way towards heavens and head back towards ramp because of the aggression that they were showing. It wasn't really a lobby crunch per se. It was more about a heavy lobby and, you know, stack alongside a little bit of a ramp aggression coming out. And the moment the dominoes started to fall, the trades were very, very solid indeed from Cloud9. And Karrigan, the look was great. But if he had, again, could have, would have, so obviously he couldn't see what we could. He was trying to get the lurk onto its upper and gonna be the hit to go in for the A-bomb site. But then, that's the moment that I do believe is Brokey. Scroll jump, man.
Yeah.
Scroll jump. He jumps in midair. Spacebar gang stays winning. 7-3 here. Cloud9 winning 2 rounds where they only had just pistols and maybe 1 rifle. And FaZe are going to be kicking themselves for that. ForceSpy going to be coming in, nonetheless, for Karrigan and his merry men. Early incendiaries going to be deployed, and here comes the hit.
It's going to be fast, it's going to be rapid, and it's going to be rampant as well, unless they can get their hands on some kills. And Cloud9 are dwindling. Their numbers thinning out, and it's Rain in the ascendancy, having impact in this game on 8 frags already. Big entry frags into this round 11. And just like that, Cloud9 are forced on the opposite side of this smoke wall. Maybe potentially going to get flanked in from Rops again, who's had so much fast rotational plays, whether it be vent diving, whether it be outside. Shiro's going to get caught as well, and this has been a complete and utter disaster for Cloud9. They had the weapons. It was FaZe in an awkward position with Deagles and Tech-9s, and yet Hobbit's the only player that has struck with any kind of success, and he is living on borrowed time. FaZe get their 4th.
What a flashbang from Brokey. The 2 defenders, they were just blinded for days. First, he used the first phase of utility was incendiaries to force the CTs out from top of the HUD position, out in the open, and immediately followed by a perfectly placed flashbang from Brokey, enabling the entries of FaZe to just pop the heads. And just like that, these are just forced by walls, Vince. Cloud9 going to be going for the full commit again. 5.7 MP9 CZs. This time not even a solitary rifle. Early barrage utility towards Mini, towards the main position, but it is going to be fast play towards Ramp, and Shiro able to find one. That's all he'll get. Brokey, however, did get dinged down. Axel with his MP9 from his position, Vince. This could be deadly.
It could, but they're sending Rain in first. He had so much impact in that previous round. Another player with a CZ at range is Hobbit. As you highlighted, this SMG is tailor-made for these kinds of angles, and if FaZe trip over one another, this could get dicey. But Axile tries to take the initiative, runs into the gauntlet, and he is sliced up and chewed spat right out. Rop's big frags in the meanwhile in lobby, and this force buy from Cloud9 will not be yielding anything in return. Post-plant will be here. I don't think Hobbit's going to have any chance at stopping this.
FaZe can finally breathe a bit of a sigh of relief now. They've finally broken the economy for Cloud9. The great force buy wars in Nuke will come to an end. Cloud9 will be going for pretty much a full save. Might see a couple of pistols, but that's about it. And FaZe, that's a great opportunity to get to 6 rounds, maybe even potentially tie things up. Cloud9, again, remember, they had a fantastic start on this CD side. Looking very solid initially, but FaZe, some great calling, great variations in how they're approaching it, and making sure they dot all their I's and cross all the T's. Hobbit had not a chance in hell there. Great bait as well. The player in front of him just tapping him with a couple of bullets, and then he gets executed at the base of his skull. Look at the money. About an average of $1,900. That's a loss bonus kicking in. And for Cloud9, it is going to be, I'd envision just a full USPs coming out here. For FaZe, though, have all the rifles, all the weaponry to work with. You can see the money's pretty solid as well as we do enter the dying embers of the first half. Rob's looking to take the lead. A full stack coming in towards outside. I've seen this a couple of times, but that means Rob's is going to be walking out just dry, and they know the A-bomb side is open for business. It should be round number 6. This should be an easy round.
Yeah, they're going to have a very good read of the situation here, FaZe, so they're going to know it's going to be some kind of cheesy, potentially gimmicky stack with USPs, and the rest should fall into place. A bit of damage done to Brokey, down to 6 HP. And the rest is a formality as Rain taps himself into a 4K, and FaZe have even the odds. We're 7-6 now in terms of score. Is it fair to say, though, Blair, with a team like Cloud9, that we don't know a great deal? By the way, as a side point, Stream B, their game just finished. Furia won 16-10 against Big. Maybe more of an expected result, considering Furia lost their last game.
I did think I heard Maui scream of agony. Big losing a game there, but yeah, good showing coming out from Furia, because Big have looked very, very dangerous indeed, but it looks like it's been kind of like one-sided games thus far in the secondary stream. But yeah, I mean, we had a banger of a game earlier between Heroic and G2, and now we're having a bit of a head-scratcher of a game. Nuke, Cloud9 allowing it through. Here comes FaZe, utility at hand. And that means, I do believe his Inter's playing on top of the hut. He's got to be playing a game of hot potatoes right now.
Inter's up on the hut again. He's had so many impactful frags, but Axile's gone down, and now Nafani has as well, and all of the defenders on A have been ripped apart. That site is as clean as you could ask for. And Cloud9 beginning to show some errors, beginning to show some cracks beneath the surface in their defense.
And if we go back to almost all the rounds FaZe have won thus far, it's been like so many different variations, right? And that's the thing for Cloud9. Even though you might have something in store for us, some cool setups and whatnot, you don't have enough of actual practice. And I'm not talking about just scrims. You might have some secret scrim partners and whatnot. You might be dry running stuff in an empty server. But if you don't have that actual experience under your belt when it comes to a map you've never played, it's going to be hard to just adapt on that line, especially against someone as experienced as Carrigan. You can see why FaZe, despite a bit of a rough start initially, despite losing 2 rounds against just the pistols, the rounds to winning are looking very, very convincing. There were 3 CTs on the upper bomb side. They got absolutely domed on. Inter's even using a smoke on top of the hut to kind of neutralize the incendiaries. But FaZe, just great protocols, knowing exactly which angles to hold. Even a CT at the back of the bomb side. FaZe are using the smokes against Cloud9. Able to somehow dissect that defense. And his upper bomb side, it's just getting, the holes getting poked in. Another fast play coming out, perhaps? No, just a little bit of early barrage utility. CTs, though, they've opted to keep 3 players, and we have one player that is Axel being very aggressive, but Rain, he seems to be aware of it.
Yeah, he's the outside contingent, and he will be getting the frag. Actually, it's Twists.
Okay.
Twists from downtown on T-Spawn. Axel walks into 2 players, and he gets tag-teamed out of the last round of the half. My concern for Cloud9 is if they have got a little bit of less experience when it comes to Nuke, surely it's the T side where we're going to see a little bit more in terms of errors and problems. So on the CT side, potentially trailing going into that second half, unless Hobbit can have more impact with the MP9, but it's a one and done. This game started exceptionally well for Cloud9 if you just joined us. They won the pistol. I think they were 4 or 5-0 up.
Yep.
And now FaZe have just shifted through the gears. Now maybe Brokey could be bested from the hut, but again, Inters is going to fall by the wayside, and Brokey doubles up. FaZe will lead going through into the second half.
Yeah, FaZe looking so much better than initially here. They seem to figure it out. You could see some of the some really cool executes coming out as well onto the upper bomb side. Different variations as well. And despite Cloud9 attempting to adapt, Karrigan just a step ahead of them, right? If you look at, I think it was around 12, 13, 14. I'd love to just go back and just rewatch a demo and just see how clean some of those takes were from FaZe. And Cloud9 left a little bit floundering in the latter stages of the first half, Vince. And even the rounds you won, again, just reminding everyone that those were some feisty rounds with the pistols, with the 4 spies being won. When it comes to just buy versus buy rounds, full buy versus full buy rounds, FaZe have come out on top 7 times out of 10. But here we go. Cloud9. If they do have something in store for us here, this is where I want to see it on the T side of Nuke.
Smoke and flash, but it's all about outside control, and they're trying to do their best to get that as fast as possible. They rush down into secret. There's no smokes or flashes to precede that peak. And they're looking for engagements at range of the P250 in the hands of Shiro. We saw yesterday just how good he is with that gun, but it's Nafani that picks up the first in the round. Hobbit should be a freebie, but Brokey misses out on that opportunity. And that will open up business down on the vent side as well. So Cloud9 also looking for that shank. Rops needs to tread very carefully, otherwise Hobbit will have him.
They haven't still got control of the bomb site, though, Vince. It's still taking the sweet time. They're still going to allow a couple of members here to creep on down, and Karrigan in perfect position to shut this one down.
Bomb's been dropped down on the side again, and it's Shiro Twist, though. Oh, Twists! Those are some slick headshots, and the bomb now is no longer under control. This round is up for debate. It was looking like Cloud9 had this. It was a 3v5, and now Rops has already done significant damage to Hobbit as he limps across with 6 HP. They still need to retrieve the bomb here, though, Blair.
Such an uncomfortable position. Hobbit making his way up, and Rops, he had the read. And now, a dangerous game of chess between Rops and Hobbit. They just let go of the bomb, by the way. They're just like, screw it. We're just gonna try and battle it out together. Not be predictable. Hobbit walks straight into Rops' crosshair, and all of a sudden, how the tables have turned, Vince. It's all that enters in a 1v2.
Couple of bullets go astray. He's still in with a chance, trying to flick to the heads as Rops comes out and will seal the deal. A 3v5, but Twists take a bow. That second shot in particular was disgusting downstairs on B.
The magnificent Van Dalken. Look at his shot. Oh my, just some clean stuff. This one, that is just pure filth. And then Rops. He just comes in. He just reads it so well. He knows what Hobbit might get up to. He didn't even commit to that fight at the bottom of the bombs, just next to the vents, in the vents room. Instead, he fades away, heads on back up, and Inter's left in an unwinnable situation. The 1v2, time running out, getting pincered from both sides. Rops and Twists, 9-7. It looked like Cloud9, they actually had that round, Vince. They got all the crucial openings. As you pointed out earlier, Hobbit able to survive the player from on top of Hut, but especially when you have Rops and Twists alive, you can never, ever count out FaZe. Bomb not getting planted means none of that bonus money, meaning it's just going to be a P250. A couple of P250s being purchased by Nafni and Shiro. Apart from that, it's Glocks all around for FaZe. The 2 M4s come out in the hands of Rops and Twists, of course afforded by the kill bonuses they got from the prior round. And the SMGs, this should be Farm City money in the bank for FaZe.
Yes, the accountant sat there with a big grin on their face, looking at the prospects. Oh my. Oh, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's shooting down with the SMGs. That's money in the bank for Brokey, but actually he only gets one. And a little bit of a scrappy engagement as Nafani comes through with his P250. You know, 2 kills, all things considered. I think Cloud9 will take that pretty happily. It could have gone a lot worse. But now we're going to have the rifles. And now I echo your sentiment, Blair. I want to see what Cloud9 have in store on this T side.
That's a real question mark. Listen, everyone watching this game has just been waiting for this T side to see what they have in store for us here. It was such a huge gamble to allow Nuke through. And if you don't have the right protocols, if you don't have... But that's the thing, even if you had the prep book on this map, this is a map that FaZe, they'd be more than happy to play against some of the best teams in the world. So it's not just about prep book, it's about how well drilled you are when it comes to the map. And Nuke is not an easy map. Now, Rain hasn't seen any of the players cross on over, but knowing that there is a bit of a hole there, Brokey using his nade early on to just blow apart one of the squeaky double doors.
That is surely going to catch them off guard, though. Because there was no smoke wall outside. The player that was watching did not spot either player through. This could completely lull FaZe into a false sense of security.
But this is the play here from FaZe. They have no information right now. Karrigan going to be pushing at Hut a little bit. They might aggress in to try and find some information. But even if they do, the fact that 2 players are already downstairs and there's no one in the lower bomb site, literally no one, but the timing is perfection. That is brilliant from Karrigan. Having no information, they feel very uncomfortable. They flash on in and Karrigan finds a kill. They still don't have any control the lower bomb site, mind you, but at least they have the man advantage, and Robs can shut this one down all by his lonesome.
Oh, they bait them in, and Robs will finish off what Brokey started.
That's the bomb.
And that's the bomb drop down, but now Hobbit's position comes to the forefront. He should be getting the drop. They have no idea his current location, and now they've realized, and it's going to cost Robs his life. 2-on-3. Time is also an enemy of Cloud9. Keep in mind, this was a bonus round on a couple of players. They had MP9s. They did not have their full assortment of weaponry with 15 seconds to go. Beautiful frag from Hobbit, but he has to just rush straight towards the site. He does have a linchpin player,
10
but
seconds.
Twists is everything right now on FaZe. Just has to drop the bomb, and this round is done. FaZe will pick up an 11th, and Cloud9's first rifle round will yield very little in return.
Oh, doesn't even have any weapons remaining. None of the weapons getting saved there for Cloud9. That was a play from FaZe. They had no eyes towards outside. Vince, you were absolutely correct there. They had no information, but then they were also cognizant of the fact that, okay, they have control of the secret. We have no information. We have no eyes as to where the other Ts are. And for the side of Cloud9, it was a C4 getting dropped. The bait play, Robs from above, delivering death. 11-7 now for FaZe, a lead by 4. It's going to be just the pistols here for the side of Cloud9. A few Deagles in hand, a Tech 9 for Axel. And I do see just a 1 smoke for Nafni. And he is towards outside. He could maybe potentially use that to cross on, to go for a lobby crunch perhaps, but there's so many angles being held here by FaZe. You have Brokey towards Secret. You have, I do believe, that is Rain as well with an A1 trained in. So the smoke might obscure vision for one of the players, but not for both of them. They're going to rely on hitting some nasty shots. And individually speaking, FaZe, they have looked clean. Brokey decapitates Inters. Now, this is going to be almost impossible, Vince. Like, I don't see this happening.
No, and every passing second, it seems that there are more and more casualties. Maybe Hobbit point blank, but Brokey no-scopes him out of his boots and then goes one better onto Shiro. Exile and a Tech 9 are very slim pickings for Ops, who was on the flank, and 12-7 the scoreline. Cloud9 still yet to get off the mark on their T-half.
Yeah, clean stuff coming in from FaZe. And this is 9 in a row together for Karrigan and his men. Tactical timer, the second of this game getting called by Cloud9 as they need to talk things through, and they really need to. FaZe are running away with this one. If you look at the way the rounds are played out, Cloud9, I think it was like a 5-1, 6-2 scoreline. Initially, it was looking good, but ever since then, it's been FaZe all the way. They have been looking very, very solid. And I gotta say, I've been impressed, especially on the first half from Karrigan. Even though he didn't have any material to work with as to how Cloud9 have their setups. He was able to get the read on the fly, able to figure out how they like playing, who's playing where, what they like to do, and just able to abuse especially that upper bomb side time and time again, yielding a number of rounds. And on the CD side, they don't. This is much more easier. This is more like, hey, we know what we want to do, we know exactly how our setups have to be, and just stick to it. And thus far, it has been flawless. For Cloud9, I again have to echo our desk. If you're going to be playing the slow and passive, going to be playing by the textbook, you are going to get massacred. You are going to get abused by each and every one of the FaZe members as Brokey finds a nasty little flick on Shiro.
Oh, it's so outrageous. Cloud9 finally get their hands on an AWP. You know, it's like, here we go, Shiro. You're one of our star players. And you're dead. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, good night. Whoo-wee, all right.
Another one. Brokey's now repositioned into ramp. It's more of the same, catching them off guard as he pushes into the T-spawn. And FaZe, they're making this just look very, very easy. This is shooting fish in a barrel at this point, and FaZe are unrelenting. They are ruthless.
This is the dominance play, the alpha play coming out from FaZe. They're just taking... This is a buy round, mind you, from Cloud9. And they have been slaughtered, absolutely dumpstered in round number 20. Axel at least able to win, to bring one back, but the moment they know where he is, you can see how aggressive everyone's being. Brokey, even with the AWP, just pushing on in, and they're just wrapping around Rops with a couple of little taps at the back of the nape of his head, of his neck rather. We'll finish it off. Clean round coming out from FaZe.
I don't want to be that guy, Blair, but you let Nuke through for this?
Yeah.
You let Nuke against FaZe for this T-side?
We literally haven't seen anything yet from Cloud9, and it hurts to say. As you said, it was either a massive blunder letting in Nuke or mad genius. And right now, I'm going with the former. It has been a little flat here. Tapping away is Rain Cross replacement perfect, but of course the wall will not allow the bullets to penetrate for the time being. You can see the smoke's getting deployed here though from Cloud9, so at least, you know, the wall smokes, but Rain doesn't respect any of that. He doesn't respect anyone right now. 2 kills again, Rain and Brokey, the 1-2 opening combo, and Brokey maybe getting a little too ahead of himself, getting really hyper-aggressive, getting caught off guard by Axel, but Rops is there, the contingency plan to take him down. 4 versus 2. FaZe are on fire, they're on a streak, and they're looking untouchable.
Seems untenable that Cloud9 can get back into this round, or perhaps even the map. Nafani from Silo will make short work of Rain, but it's all at the cost of 4 players, and Carrigan is going to chip in and get FaZe to a 14-7 lead. This has been domination, and as you can see on your scoreboard, not only is it 6 rounds in a row on this CT side, but there was 5 preceding that to end off the first half. And also, keep in mind, Blair, there hasn't been a single bomb plant in any of these rounds either. It's not just been them winning. They've been stopping Cloud9 from even getting close.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been just dominant. And this curveball from Cloud9 has just gone travel all around the world, orbited the Earth, and come back and smack them on the back of the head. It's not worked out at all. And for FaZe, they have looked as fluid as that little cinematic switch. I love the cams from PGL.
It's the only finesse that we've seen on this half for Cloud9 when they stood at spawn. And now with 3 Galils and Shiro with an AWP again. I want to see something, Blair. Like, please don't let this just be a blowout 16-7.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, any other map, this would have been a so much more contested affair. It could even be Cloud9 having a similar lead as to what FaZe have right now. But on Nuke, it was a question mark. And the answer, unfortunately, is that FaZe are just better right now on Nuke. As I say, they're actually able to find Brokey with the wallbang. That's nice. Getting tapped on by Shiro. Twist replies back, though, with Nafani. Oh, it's a battle between Rain and Nafani, and Rain comes out on top. He's been tagged on to 41 HP, but still able to get back the man advantage. Never mind, Carrigan is a lunatic. Runs on in, catches Shiro all by his lonesome. And this is what FaZe love to do. This is what FaZe will do at you. They are just going to keep aggressing, going to be in your face, disrespecting you. And they're going to make you not just like feel like you're losing, but make it feel even more painful. Just twist the knife in. Axel, what's he going to do? Well, a 1v4, now to a 1v2. This is suddenly all of a sudden doable. Rain, bear in mind, is on 20 HP. The only thing going against Axel right now is the fact that the bomb is far, far away out in the open, but he does have time.
Exactly, just shy of 50 seconds, but that bomb position is the biggest obstacle to him clutching this round. Rain knows it additionally, as does Rops. They're both positioned accordingly. And Axel's just checking all of his angles. Rops is coming all the way around the back now. Even if Axel's able to best Rain and pick up the bomb, Rops is in such a good position to try and thwart either of these bomb sites. And Axel has taken the head of Rain, picks up the bomb, has to rush straight towards the site, and Rops should know this. Rops is in good position for the cross. Axel's going to be coming down, though, and decides to vent dive. Throws in the curveball. And he's going to have enough time as well. The Molotov buys him up enough time, and Rops runs through the volley to his death. Rops, are you okay?
What is this clutch? That was a 1 versus 4. Axel, I mean, I don't even think he thought he'd win in that fashion. Rops just running down, desperately trying to prevent the plan from taking place. And the flames have burned him alive. Oh my. That is perhaps the only blunder we've seen from FaZe on the second half. But what a way for Cloud9 to win a round, Vince. A 1 versus 4. With a bomb dropped in no man's land. And just maybe a little bit of a reminder to FaZe, just a little bit of a reminder, you can't be that disrespectful to the individuals here on the Cloud9 side. Axel finds Broke in the meantime, but Rain immediately replies back by getting rid of Shiro.
Big damage as well to Nafani outside the red container. He got dinked by Rain, down to 10. He will plummet. And yeah, that was a clutch that just seemed to come out of nowhere. And not just the whole Rops play where he gets burned alive. I think it was some mismanagement on FaZe's positions as well. Could have been better crossfires established, but that's all in the past. In the here and now, FaZe still have the 6-round advantage, and King Karrigan shuts down main. 2 massive headshots, and he will lock down this angle and potentially take this map with it. Karrigan going from strength to strength as FaZe are mounting up a serious lead. And Nafani, with the aforementioned 10 HP, can do little but maybe pick up the bomb. I wonder if there's a part of him that even thinks of saving this AWP because he's so low and because the finances of Cloud9 are straight up in the trash right now.
7 map points for FaZe. And listen, the second half, it's not even in competition. Look at the second half. I think the round, it was 6-3, the scoreline for Cloud9 in the first half. After that, it's been FaZe all the way. They have literally won almost every round since then, and it has just been FaZe dominating. Apart from that 1 versus 4 from Axel, where, well, FaZe did stumble quite a bit, but apart from that, it has been absolute domination. And it's not just about like one player popping off, right? Sure, Brokey and Rain have been a thorn in that outer yard area, but everyone Twist having his moments. We saw in the pistol round, Karrigan as well, being so very aggressive, catching Cloud9 off guard, and that phase pretty much summarizes how Cloud9 are feeling right now, because they are just completely lost and bamboozled. I still want to know what the thought process was for Cloud9 getting Nuke through, right? Like, obviously it's a big surprise. We've seen this happen in the past. Heck, Karrigan used to do that with mouse sports as well. He used to flex a couple of maps randomly out of nowhere and have that 7-map pool earlier on when he was playing with Rops in mouse sports. But you don't bring it out in a situation like this. You don't bring it out in a scenario like this. And especially Nuke. It's so much harder. If things start spiraling out of control, sometimes you can be just left scratching your head wondering how you're going to bring this one back, and how they're going to bring this one back is a question in everyone's minds. Cloud9, sure, they at least have the loss bonus to eke out a pretty decent buy. I say decent, just 1 AK, 2 Galils, Macton for Axel, and the AWP saved AWP for Shiro. They need to make something happen here. 7 in a row is what they need, and it's going to be a fast vent dive coming in from Axel.
Minimal damage done to Axel in the process with the Mac-10. But already they have an AWP downstairs watching the decon doorway. They know this is a possibility. Hobbit dropping down into main as well. They're looking to try and divide and really throw some chaos in against FaZe. And so far they've not lost any players. So decent forward positions taken.
They haven't heard him. There are 3 players around him and no one has any clue. Hobbit, probably paranoid. He must have envisioned someone's heard him and someone's going to be hunting for him. Robs the reading Shiro perfectly like a book. And never mind. Hobbit, he got the lurk, but Chris is there.
Karrigan locking down on the Squeaky, and Nafani and Axel, last two players to go. It's all on Nafani, and although he is going to step tall, he takes a headshot as well. The game is not over just yet. He is still alive in this one, but only for a few more seconds. And that's going to do it for our second best of one of the day, and it ends in a little bit of a disappointing result, I think it's safe to say. Cloud9 floating the nuke pick, get completely bodied by FaZe, who made that look pretty straightforward.
Yeah, FaZe must have been pretty damn confused when they saw the video coming in, when they saw the nuke being played, but whatever doubts they might have, they just swept it very swiftly aside, right? A very, very dominant showing coming up from FaZe.